Okay, so when did your love for art first begin?
Um, in grade school, I actually had the opportunity to take an adult painting class. I was the only kid in the class. It was on Saturdays from 1 to 5, and it was with in New Hampshire, a well-known local artist. And he was kind of skeptical about letting a 12-year-old do this. He
I'd
thought it would be
imagine.
disruptive and everything. So I made it a point of really staying right at that easel. So that's probably when it started. So I think by the time I was in ninth grade, I pretty much knew I wanted to do art. So and then I had a high school art teacher who had gone to Syracuse, and she encouraged me to apply, and I got accepted, and took got a degree in painting, which I didn't use for a while really because I started to get publishing jobs and so forth, and I got sort of right turned into doing commercial art. The bad word, the C word. But yeah, so it's been good to over the last 15 years or so. I've finally gotten back into doing more and more painting, and then of course being retired, it's great. I can paint.
Absolutely.
So.
What would visitors be surprised to learn about you and your work?
That is really tough. I don't know. I think of myself as pretty mainstream. Maybe lately I've been painting in casein all the time, and a lot of people don't even know what that medium is or how you spell it or anything about it. So that's maybe interesting. It's casein, Casein, and you may not even know what it is. It's a milk emulsion based media, mixes with water, dries fast. It's kind of like gouache on steroids, because you can paint on a rigid surface. You can paint very thick, or you can use it washy like watercolor. So it's pretty versatile. So maybe that's the new weird thing. It's got a couple of little highlights of casein because again, it can be pretty opaque, and I've done highlights in gouache too, but the casein, you can just get it really opaque. I'm very inspired by looking at some of the modern artists, everyday artists, just looking at websites and seeing their work. Seeing the show here today, there's some great stuff. Traditionally, I love the Impressionists, although my work doesn't look like that at all, but John Singer Sargent. I really like I moved to California about 20 years ago, so I got interested in the California Impressionists. So Guy Rose and a whole bunch of the other Impressionists, just love their work, kind of study a lot. So. Combining the two mediums, pen and ink and watercolor, pen and ink you tend to get into the detail and the texture a lot. So again, I did that for about 3 years. I haven't gone away from it completely, but now I'm painting in casein on very heavy paper, and I think it looks more like oil, which I did. I did oil on canvas forever. So
I can see that too.
A lot of artists like to experiment because it's it's like picking up a new instrument. If you're in a band, it's like if you're a good musician, then you can get some really exciting stuff happening. Just keep on expressing yourself, observe, create, experiment. If anything, the one negative I would point towards myself is I'm a little bit reluctant to experiment and really try to get outside the box. So I would say, young artists, just find out what works. Well, they're important to me because they keep me from going insane. I also am a musician. I've played in 2, sometimes 3 bands. And I had so many gigs lined up that just went poof, gone. That's starting to loosen up. We're starting to actually get together again and practice a little bit with masks, which is hard to sing. But I think, the arts just kind of, they keep people from going crazy. It's good for the soul. To have galleries closed up has been really hard. It's good for me, hanging out way up in Meta Vista, in the woods, to be involved in a gallery, any kind of gallery, and I like Blue Line. It's it's a pretty gallery. It's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
I like doing the membership show and any other shows that may come up. I've taken a seminar here. Just all the stuff that you guys do. It's good. It's good for the community. Have yourself in a gallery like this, and maybe somebody, from a different state or whatever might see your work and go, hey, I want you in my gallery.